back to the OPL where the Chiefs just took game one off Trident in what was a 41-minute bloodbath. Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Jake Spawn Tiberi, still joined on the desk by Matthew Fish-Stewart and the man with the hair, Max Atlas Anderson. It's looking great.
You've both got hair.
No, but you have the hair.
It's not unique.
You have
thank
the hair.
you. The man
okay,
with
but
the
we
hair.
do have a social media contest for you. We're going to bring it up on your screen. Pretty much we want you to ask us anything. And when I say us, I mean the production team, the guys that spectate the game, any of the casters. You know what? Just go as nuts as you want. Like, throw it in at us on Twitter. Use that hashtag IMOPL. Best questions will be answered on broadcast throughout this week. So just ask us whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm excited. Actually, I'm looking forward to a lot of these questions as well because I want to see how people actually imagine what we do here because behind the scenes is very mysterious.
Mystical.
Yeah,
almost.
who knows?
Yeah.
And so, look, I'm excited to see what people may imagine the behind the scenes is because like whether they think that, you know, toadstools and rainbows and things like that are actually here or not is the real question.
Yes. Yes, it is, Atlas. And I'm sure someone will now ask that, in which case I'm very disappointed in you. Let's get back to this series because you guys kept skirting around the team composition that Trident put together. It was an okay team called, like, it had a win condition. It was cute. Let's just call a spade a spade. Trident tried to cheese the Chiefs again. This is something that teams have been trying for a good year and a half now. I mean, we've had Malphite supports run into him. We've had Sybil sit in top lane bushes for 4 minutes on Udyr. This seems to be a tried and true thing that you try against the Chiefs. Do they try it again is my question, because teams in the past have given it a second crack.
The thing is,
do you go back to it one more time?
How much cheese do they have in their fridge? Like, this is what we see as well, is the fact that often there's this one strategy that a team has, and they'll bring it against the Chiefs in game number one, and then they'll go back to standard after that. So, of course, they've gone through their cheese. And we'll see, is there an endless supply? Is there more left?
And I just want to clarify, I'm actually not saying it's a bad team composition. In fact, if there wasn't a Morgana and it was an immobile AD carry, or if it wasn't a hyperscaling AD carry with a Morgana, they would have been able to win that game. It was actually a really clever, thought-out team composition. What I mean by cheese is, that is something that the Chiefs would not have played against in years. And in the case of Rageblade Callista, I'm going to say ever.
Yeah, well, look, I'm not sure how many people have. I saw one YouTube video.
Yeah, no, we found it on the champion.
We're desperately trying to find a reason why he's building it.
Please, let me know. Nothing. Flat out nothing.
I completely agree with you. It just feels like they had this nice strategy, but they executed it poorly. I mean, we talked about it before we went into the game. If you want to beat the Chiefs, take them to late game. Make them play that really long extended game. They had a great late game team comp for it. But you gave them Cogmore to Radiant, one of the best AD carries in the OPL as well. And then Morgana, like you said, just nullifying any effectiveness of the Wither.
The thing is, we spoke to Ejim about this earlier in the split as well. And Ejim was like, oh no, they've buffed Cogmore. We're never going to be able to play it ever. Because they were playing it before Cogmore was
cool.
this strong.
RWCA.
And they're more than happy to pick it up again. So it's just a champion that Radius shouldn't ever get.
It almost feels like Trident wanted to pick up Cogmore in that game because Chiefs actually got it in their second rotation. So that's
they picked Callista first up. So, I mean, they wanted Callista.
Yeah, that's right. Goodness sake. Brain absolutely died there. But strange. They had the option to take
well, they could have taken it instead, So.
And the Chiefs knew that kind of something was going to be thrown at them. Have to check in with Trident later if that was actually the desired game plan. What I want to look at, though, is from the Chiefs side. That game went very late. They actually got a good gold lead. Cogmore went even in lane, something that probably shouldn't happen. Nautilus was able to hold down the Nasus, and they kind of still lost control of the mid game. They were getting picked off. Their rotations were really sloppy. This has to be a worry going into the next game.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. So Impaired was actually able to do what we were talking about.
He's a god on Echo, by the way.
Yeah,
that man is
ridiculous.
A freak.
Yeah, and in the top lane especially, I mean, that ultimate that was, I think it was at like -1 health. He's like, I can still ultimate, never you mind. I'm a ridiculous player. So managed to turn that fight completely around. The Chiefs actually lost that one. The Echo was brilliant as far as like that mid-game penetration is concerned into the Chiefs like playstyle, but just wasn't quite enough given the Cogmore. They get rid of the Cogmore? I have high hopes for Trident here. I think the 2-1 prediction that's come out of a lot of people for this game is actually a big opportunity.
And I completely agree. I just feel like execution was absolutely poor from the Chiefs at the start of the game. Just feel like when 30 minutes came around, Chiefs were like, yep, okay, let's stop the Nasus. Let's pick somebody off. And then we start a fight with these guys because they have this really big scaling comp. That's what they did at the end of the game, but I feel like they could have done that at the start.
Well, we'll see whether they do manage to do it at the start because Game 2 is coming up. So here is Rusty and Pastry time to take us into Summoner's Rift.
Nailed it.
Absolutely nailed it. And thank you very much. We are prepared for game number 2. I think I have to echo what the desk said there. Plan was good from Trident. Couldn't quite get it done, but the Chiefs maybe a little sloppier than they would have liked.
Yeah, definitely. It was a hard-fought game either direction. I will say that the cheese, as it was called, was actually quite effective. It was a very good strategy. They just, again, gave too many strong champions to the Chiefs, and then they got a gold deficit from the lane swap, from macro play, not from the drafting at all.
Yep. So Trident definitely, again, plan and heart in the right place, but maybe not so much on the practice front. We'll have to see how they do here in game 2. And for the drafters, anything like the last one, I'm pretty excited here for this second one. Trident on the blue side will ban the Anivia once again, so Cheese not able to play that one. And again, I have to think Chiefs going to stick to their bans. Ban the Gangplank, ban the Corki, give Wizard something else. Although to his credit, as far as play goes, I actually quite liked Hizillion.
You know, Hizillion was fine, and this is the interesting thing. So we're on the other side of the map here for the Chiefs, and if they ban the Gangplank and the Corki, they have to ban Nidalee. Or do they ban Nidalee and Gragas so that Impaired goes back to the Echo? It's like, you can't actually ban out Impaired, and there's too many other champions. Right now, I would get rid of Kog'Maw, firstly, if I was Chiefs, or I would leave open the junglers and the Kog'Maw.
Okay. Well, there's Nidalee and Lulu banned on the Chiefs and Trident side, respectively. So kind of heading in that direction, but Corki could be left open. There's Kog'Maw banned by Trident, though.
So Chiefs banned Nidalee and Gangplank as their first 2 on the assumption that because Trident have their last ban first, that they would ban the Kog'Maw away, which means that the Chiefs don't actually have to ban that. And this raises the interesting question, because of course Gragas is another availability to them. There's a lot of champions there, and saying that, Impaired, we saw his Echo. It was pretty
good.
Pretty insane.
Well, it wasn't really contested either in the last game, so have to think that he's happy to take it again if it comes, and the Chiefs probably not going to look to ban it, though. We are going to... What? Apparently the Chiefs just...
It's a strat.
I mean, they didn't get Dr. Ban, so apparently they just missed one, but... All right, cool. We'll see what Trident want to pick up. A few more options open, I guess. Now on the blue side with a ban missing there from the Chiefs. Again, they didn't lose one, so they just forgot, apparently.
Everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Phase 2 time.
Some more than others.
It's a very curious one, though, isn't it?
Well,
so they give you like a set amount of time, you know, like ban a champion in this 40 seconds. So not ban one is impressive.
This was dynamic here. I'm pretty sure they get forfeited.
Yeah, they would have dodged. 1-1. This is game 3 here.
Well, Trident, of course, are going to get their shot at first pick. It is going to be Callista again from Addition. Curious to see if he sticks to the same build from game 1. We know he's a big Callista player. I liked how they played the Callista Braum lane. And especially in the mid-game, they used a lot of that Fate's Call to get picks off. But Addition's Ginsu's Rage Blade, I think it could have been better as maybe just the Hurricane.
Yeah, and this is a super curious thing. Is the Callista is a great first pick. It does leave open the Gragas and the other banned champion from the first draft that has just been locked in.
Genius. Forget a ban. Leave some strong picks open. I mean, Poppy Gragas,
Take 2.
definitely not bad at all. Poppy especially really causes problems for Callista. We saw Radiant run into that exact problem on Callista versus the Dial Sharp, just making Radiant's life miserable.
And this is the curious thing as well, is I was expecting them to pick up Braum in their first rotation to deny the Callista and Braum being a duo. But because we don't know if Pac-Man's going to go back to Nasus, you actually want Morgana into Nasus to actually have the Black Shield and deny a lot of the engage that can go onto Radiant. So instead, they go for the Poppy, they go for the Gragas, they sacrifice at least potentially the Braum because they know they can still pick up the Morgana.
Well, they are going to at least hover the Braum for now, so they have a few seconds left to lock these picks in. Corki is open as well. That's the other champion for Wizard that we know he's played a lot of. But again, his Zillion looks okay. So I'll be curious to see if they have something prepared or if they're going to just keep it nice and safe. For now, they are going to keep it very safe here. Echo locked in again for Impaired. Jakey going to take him Braum. Trident give nothing away here.
No, this is just another Trident team composition. In fact, their last 2 picks could be the exact same. I don't think there's even a reason for them to change it. If anything, perhaps the Nasus, they could go for the Nautilus themselves this time around, and I think be a little bit happier than if they had the Nasus. They have the team fighting option there, not just a big burly man with the cane that walks in and just hits people. So it's a little bit more of a strategy behind their team composition. So lots to do there.
I feel like maybe it was 80 carry dependent in the first game.
Yes.
I did like it into the Cogmore, but going to be something different. Corki locked in there for the Chiefs. Bard also locked in for Ejim. So no Morgana, unfortunately, but we will get a Bard and possibly Radiant back on Corki. But of course, Cheese has played it already, does have the option in mid as well.
Yeah, so Gragas Janna was the most popular team composition for quite a while. The disengage, if you had a Kog'Maw as your team composition, some kind of hyper carry AD carry. What they've got this time is Corki, which I would define as much more of a fighter than a disengage or hyper carry AD carry by any means, which means they can change up their team composition to have a Poppy in the top lane and to have a Bard in support, which is this happy middle point between do we go in or do we run away? And it's very relative to context in the particular game. So the Chiefs are running an adaptable team composition.
Yep, and they've got one pick left as well, so I like what they've done so far with the draft. 10 seconds, though, for trying to finalize these last few picks. Corki not available now, of course, to get taken away by the Chiefs. So Zillion once again. Pac-Man's going to pick up Trundle that he thought he was going to play in the first game. And again, only one pick changes. Feels like the team comes pretty much the same from Trident.
Yeah, it essentially is the same here. Trident, they're still going to have the split pushing top laner. They're still going to have a form of disengage as well from that. So he'll be content, Pac-Man in the top lane. The rest of the team comp is actually the exact same.
Yep.
So as far as how they're going to play the game out, I think the biggest concern for Trident is to just not get behind by 5k through natural movement around the map.
Yep, and I guess we saw this earlier in the last game. Wizard did play it well, but I'm trying to think, what does it bring to the team comp, is my question. Because, again, there's no Kog'Maw, there's no Caitlyn, there's a Kalista, but it's not quite the same, like, you know, revive a Hypercarry or even revive, like, a Nasus.
I mean, at first thought, in the first game, that was what I said. It's like you can speed up a Nasus, so you can just run at you at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Now it's a Trundle. Not necessary, to say the least, to actually speed that person up. So the Zillion is honestly just another champion that Wizard can play.
And there's a Jhin lock-in from Chiefs as their final pick. Could go mid, could go AD. We have two different AD carries that I think can flex in those lanes. But I love the confidence from Chiefs to pick it up.
Yeah, Raider's been playing Jhin, so it's no surprise that he would be the one to pick that up. I don't believe Cheese has been just yet. So safe assumption, of course, they have until 20 seconds to make up their minds, I believe. So should be Raider, though, and that's an interesting matchup. Everyone says, as a matter of fact, that Kalista loses to Jhin because Jhin just feels superior. You can have the four hit engage. Ideally, you have 2 hits, so use the 3rd auto attack, you use the Q, and then the 4th one, and just run away with the crit as the effective type of engage. What you want to do is not get a prolonged engage against that Kalista.
I mean, that's everyone's rule against Kalista, so what are the counters? Either lock it down with a big CC like Nautilus, or in the lane, just trade faster. Something like we've seen from Tristana back in the day. Jhin definitely fits the same mold for me. And a very exciting final pick there from the Chiefs. Jin's first appearance in the OPL. Going to be now, we feel like the champion starting to pick up a bit more traction.
Yeah, and I'm very happy that he is picking up a lot more traction. I've been a firm advocate of Jhin for quite some time. I think that he's a fantastic champion. Just underrated and underappreciated.
Well,
so
hopefully Raider shows him off this game for you, Rusty. Curious to see just how that one's going to lay out. But we do have our team comps for game 2. Trying pretty much sticking to the plan. Chiefs have altered the plan ever so slightly, but get out there on Twitter. We'd love you to join the conversation. Hashtag TRI whenever you think Trident can win game 2 and force a 3rd, or if Chiefs are going to get the sweep and prove the Magic 8 Ball wrong. Hashtag CHF. And don't forget, of course, hashtag IMOPL for your general conversation. How are you watching? You having fun? What's happening during your day in general? We'd love to hear from you guys.
yeah, absolutely. And
How much do you like Jhin? Do you like it more than Rusty? Probably not.
I think Loot is the only person who likes Jhin more than I do. Maybe that's a different... Oh, moving on anyway. We are about to get into a game.
Well, here we are. We'll see what Trident can get done here in the second one. Game 1 looked promising, I will say. But you can see the Chiefs as the Keystone Masteries. We are going to have Warlord's Bloodlust, and I believe it's the old one. Am I wrong?
No, that's right.
Oh, we good?
It's the old Warlord's Bloodlust, and it's probably one of the only reasons that he has decided to pick that one up. So I do believe we're on 6.3.
We are. Good work.
My only concern with that is he hasn't gone Deathfire's touch.
Well, definitely been a bit more popular, but we'll see how it works out. Curious to see Radio play Jhin in general. Always excited to see him out onto the Rift. Other than that, pretty standard stuff as far as the Masteries go. There's no surprises just yet. Trident, though, are going to give us something a bit different here. Pretty deep roam through the Chiefs' red side of the jungle, just getting a few wards down. Egypt, though, does have that deep vision down on the other side, and it could be lane swap time here. I feel like every time I see Trident look for a lane swap, they're trying to find the 2v2. This is the one time where maybe, just maybe, they actually want the lane swap.
Yeah, so that's the curious thing, is I don't think they want the lane swap because they have a Braum. And ideally, Braum Kalista is still just going to be too strong. There are situations where the Chiefs they can't make their mind up.
Well, Renektonbot is going to chime in. Pretty impressive that an automated crocodile can use Twitter. Oh my god, hashtag IMOPL picking Nasus and saying good things about Nasus. Can we just sink that whole side of the planet from Kylo Renekton?
Everything spins the other way around here, right? So
Good at times there. Of course, don't forget, Renekton does hate Nasus, so it makes sense that Renekton bot not too happy about what's happening there.
Again, I'm just going to
Thankfully,
say...
he lost the game. It's okay.
Yeah, no, he lost. But remember that we spin the other way around here, on the other side of the hemisphere, right? So Renekton might be good on your side of the continent or your side of the planet. Nasus is the overlord here.
Well, couldn't win game one, unfortunately, but did some work for Pac-Man as Wizard and Cheese are going to do battle here in the mid lane. Wizards changed skins, which I always find interesting. But he's just going to try and keep the farm up. Cheese, though, able to apply a lot more pressure, as we do have a very late TP there from Swiper. I think he did a little bit of jungling. Pac-Man level 2 right now, so it does have the XP advantage. But we are going to get standard lanes.
Yeah, and he just did double jungling as well, an extended double jungle, because Chiefs were really desperately trying to get the 2v2. We saw them skirting around the top side, expecting Trident to swap, and then walking all the way back down to ensure they did get this 2v2 where they definitely feel like they are stronger, which means Swiper started with Spooks just to be certain that they were going to the right place, right? So a little bit slow on that, but gets what he's coming for.
Yeah, Impad going to continue counter jungling, but Spooks
This
is
is
going to spot him. This is real dangerous. As Impad does have the smite, but Spooks is just going to force him out.
Oh, got him.
It's all right. Juked him.
Yeah, he thought he went over the wall. He didn't. The old switcheroo.
Intentional. As Impaired does get himself out safely, at least, which is always good to see. Spooks, though, going to keep all his buffs. Impaired, I like the play. Bit aggressive, but he's just going to walk back to his red, so shouldn't be too far behind. Just a little bit behind on tempo.
That was as intentional as the Chiefs' third ban. And I'll let you interpret what you like from that.
As Cheese just CSing nicely here on the Corki. Wizard keeping up, though. Has plenty of wave clear with the bombs. Let's see how his mana goes later on as addition. Very nice little trade there onto the Jhin. But you can already tell the Chiefs dual lane, they love to be aggressive. But Jhin, I'm going to say surprisingly aggressive, especially with that Ignite there for Ejim. If they find an opportunity, you bet they'll be going all in.
Yeah, it's a super aggressive duo, but also a lot less seen, I suppose, having the Bard with the Jhin. Their engage, if they can hit a Bard stun, is actually quite strong.
Well, not going to take much for the CC chain to really start. But right now, the Chiefs actually just pushing in.
But that's the scary thing, right? Is a Bard auto attack that slows them for like 60% can still actually cause Jin's trap. And then followed by a Bard stun. What are you meant to do?
I think die, usually in the situation, or burn all your flashes.
Put up the door.
As Pac-Man and Swiper still going head-to-head here. Very even so far. Pac-Man got a big wave coming in towards him. So he's going to keep that CS lead that he did get by getting to the lane first. But no worries at all here for either top laner by the looks of things. Once again, should be settling in for a very farm-heavy lane. The Spooks is going to try and make a difference.
Yeah, no worries. I think we're about to find a potential big worry. This is a big stack of minions.
Yeah, Pac-Man, it's kind of
Wizard
a dangerous time
needs
to farm. Spooks does move in for it. Bob's there. And first blood goes to Gragas.
That's a lot of minions that are just about to be lost under this turret as well. Spooks is staying to ensure there's no teleports, and then Impaired can't make his way up to get these minions either. So nobody collecting the profit besides the Chiefs. Very cute and smart strategy here.
Yeah, really good gank in the top lane. Swiper not going to get the kill. Spooks will get the initial gold, but should be helped quite nicely in the lane as Pac-Man does actually burn the teleport to make sure he can get back to the lane first. That means Swiper, who'd already used his to get there, is now going to not be down a TP. His will come back first, and now Poppy with the Barmy Cinder should be looking real nice here in this lane. We've seen what happens when Trundle gets going, so smart of the Chiefs to try and keep him down early. As Wizard also going to use that teleport. Once again, gets the Catalyst, TP's back to lane. Cheese, though, with that heal, of course, just going to walk back. But it feels like a lot of Trident members using those TPs just to stay in their lanes.
There. Oh, that's cute.
Trouble? No. Medical journey out.
Nice gank in
Can't
bed.
W in there.
You know that 3-second setup time that you have on the W? Yeah.
Well, we do have another tweet here from Carrot Colossus. Ugh, seeing Wizard play Zillion reminds me of how much an anti-fun champion he is. It makes Teemo look like a barrel of laughs. Hashtag IamOPL.
Timo is a barrel of laughs, just in like an evil way. So it's like, Timo always looks like a barrel of laughs, but that's to the Timo player. It's that devilish laugh. Yeah. Zillion is very anti-fun to play against, though. He's quite fun to watch, especially when he laughs. It's like the better version of a Lux laugh.
It's pretty strong. As you can see, Wizard not going to give us a giggle just yet. He's going to wave clear out this mid lane.
Prod him.
Spooks, though, coming in. Magical Journey. Ejim's also going to join in the fun. Wizard, nice flash. Didn't wait on the
Take the
binding,
journey.
but the slow's there. He might have to, but he can't quite. They're going to continue to get chased down here. Doesn't have the flash anymore. Does have his ulti. Nice stun there. Is going to keep him safe by the looks of things. Good little disengage there from Trident.
Yeah, and Jin not rotating up could have been seen as a misplay from Radair in particular. Getting farm hungry.
Oh, Wizard is on top of a ward. It's not a good look. Damage is there. The binding might be enough, but it's actually going to get saved. Blocks the auto as well, does Jakey, so the ulti doesn't even proc. But the Chiefs, they chase and get the ulti out.
That's actually miscommunication there from Trident because Wizard, I would imagine, wanted the ultimate to go off to be healthy. Now 100% has to recall. And the Chiefs overcommitting in an effective way. So it's not really overcommitting. They get what they look for.
Going to get a blue buff now as well. Cheese gets full value. Spook's very generous. Donates every single minute in the camp, but gets the important one, the nice big one in the middle. He's going to take that buff into mid lane. He's actually building a nice CS lead. You know, Cheese is a strong laner. Been laning well, certainly, in the OPL. As Raid does try to combo in there, but Addition manages to hop out of the way. It's BF Sword versus Pickaxe right now as Addition continues. I'm going to say the somewhat strange item path.
No, so this
is
is reasonably standard.
Okay.
I will say most AD carries, if they're needing to go like a second Doran's route in a laning phase because they're struggling, you will go towards the Cull. It gives you extra money, so it's obviously much more efficient as your second item because it pays itself off in the end. Whereas going the second Doran's is a wasted item slot essentially once you get towards the later stages of the game, and you need those item slots for wards.
Spooks coming again though, Wizard in trouble, flash ulti's good, the stun does land to Cheese, but a great ult there from Spooks' Cheese, just going to collect his prize. It will be Wizard, it will be the blue, and there's a killer's Radiant in trouble in the bottom side, but 3 members of the Chiefs are down here. Jakey tried to look for the all-in, but Radiant going to line up the ulti, Curtain Call's good, Addition, one more bullet, he's got one left, but Jakey's going to block the crit.
And Jake does block the fourth. Of course, the Chiefs with the numbers advantage, working around the teleport that they now have, and that they know Trident does not. They find absolute control down here. Now, in the meanwhile, Pac-Man will start hitting onto that top turret. But with 3 people here, it's entirely up to the Chiefs as to what they wish to do.
You can see Impad trying to take those creeps in the mid lane. Wizard is going to return there now. Raider and Egypt though should be able to take this tower. It's going to be close. But enough bullets left there for Jin. Actually needed the last one, but does get it. And Raider just going to clear this out. Shoot the creeps where he can. And Chief's going to continue collapsing on this bottom half of the map as Impaired. That's a dangerous place to be.
Yeah, of course. Spooks doesn't have a whole lot of mana to him, so he's just looking for the Smite Wall. Impaired actually took a W from Raider.
Yep.
Cheeky stuff.
Doesn't take the buff though, so red buff will go over to Impaired. Jakey going to cancel it back. Raider going to eat the Winter's Bite straight to the back of the cape, or cloak, I think it is.
What he should have done was hit the dragon. Knock him up, make the dragon hit him.
Yep.
Insult to injury. And make Raider walk further, most importantly, before he can recall. So in terms of efficient timing, yeah, should hit the dragon.
Well, walks out of the pit anyway, just to be safe. Looks like Infinity Edge first for Jin will be the first item. And I brought up the pickaxe before for Addition, because even though the Cult definitely more standard, I have a feeling we might see another Rage Blade.
Yeah. So the Cull is standard. The pickaxe is the only efficient aspect of the Guinzu's Rage Blade. And it raises a lot of questions because, yes, the pickaxe is actually a reasonably effective early game item for auto-attacking, which is why a lot of Ezreals who go towards their blue build can pick up the pickaxe, even before the Sheen sometimes. But Kalista, from this pickaxe, is now waiting about 2,500 gold until they have a single item which is effective, whereas Jin, with a BF sword and a pickaxe, infinitely stronger right now.
Yeah, that's Jin in general. Very weird power curve, I will say. But definitely strong early. Those Chiefs are going to collapse onto this dragon and look to take their first one. No Nidalee this time for Spooks. So Dragon's going to take considerably longer to do this time around, but Raider and Egypt will join in, make sure they can take that away. Dragon 1, once again, goes over to the red team.
Jin's power curve feels like, it's almost like a flowchart.
Yep.
Is Jin ahead? The answer is yes, then he's doing damage. That's it. Really simple flowchart.
I like it. That one I can keep track of. Some of your other flowcharts have been quite complicated. This Pac-Man with a teammate now. Oh, Impaired and Egypt going to have a battle. Oh, does predict correctly. Very nicely played from Impaired. Going to get the stun down, but Cheese is here as well. Wizard also in the area, but Wizard going to get him with the bomb. Now Impaired going to keep chasing in. Cheese could just be in trouble. but the Zillionati will proc. Pac-Man's down here as well. Nice ult from Spooks to disengage. And now Swiper's here to try and chase down Impaired. Jin going to try and poke out where he can. Swiper getting low. Bob's 2 up, but Wizard with another bomb. Able to get himself another kill.
Yeah, Wizard picking up 2 kills is actually a very big deal. This is the teleport Zillion after all. But the rest of Trident, honestly, that was set up entirely by Impaired. His skirmishing and his echo play is phenomenal. Predicting Jukes even 3 seconds in advance just really goes to show how adept he is on this champion, how comfortable he feels. It is only 2 kills, but it's in the right direction.
Yep, Wizard going to get those 2. He should be well on the way to the Rod of Ages at this point, given that he now has a blasting wand, which he did have, sorry, when he got those last 2 kills. So he's going to go back, probably spend a very well-earned bit of gold, and there's the Rod of Ages nice and quick. 12.5 minutes in as Radiate returns to that bottom side. He's going to keep clearing things out. Dancing Grenade going to get some work done. Oh, misses one there.
Isn't it amazing? They have the same amount of gold, both of these AD carries. One of them is much scarier than the other because the Callista is waiting for a lot of gold to be relevant. It's like, last game was great because, sure, they spike at the same time, right? It was a Kog'Maw and a Callista. This time around, Raider is stronger before the buy. He's arguably stronger after the buy, especially in the 1-on-1, even in the 2-on-2. And there's no situation where Raider's going to be weaker. It's just this is now like an extended period of time where Addition is, needlessly.
Addition is going to go back and have to think he's got the major purchase completed. There is the Rage Blade. Let's see if it works out any differently this particular game. It didn't quite go the way he wanted to in game number 1. Blue buff though, he's going to get fought over here. Chiefs trying to steal this one away, but Impaired doing a nice job keeping it away. Runic Echo is almost enough, but Wizard should be able to get it.
Nah.
No, Impaired had to take it, unfortunately. Wizard a little too late.
Yeah, not having the cooldowns available to him, Wizard. He actually used them a little bit earlier. Spooks threw out the ultimate, so that's not there. And if Trident were to look at the Chiefs doing this Herald, there was a chance they catch them out. But they have to defend top lane because Raider's already set it up.
Dad has seen them though, does still have his smite. Could be a steal here onto the Herald. He is going to get it. The Chief's just going to have to chase him away from the buff. Spooks, yeah, you can't pick that up. Nope.
No,
That's
you
not how that
actually
works.
can't pick it up, Spooks.
And Impaired's going to roll and get it.
He can't. No, it's this is cat
Oh
and mouse.
no, it's gone.
He's lost it. The Chiefs did okay with what they had, you know?
Yeah. I've always wondered what a Rift Herald Steel looks like, and now I know.
It's as simple as dropping the buff. And that's it. It's like, well, you can come grab it if you want. So it's the game of cat and mouse that ensues afterwards. So I guess the only gain is the money that Impaired got from that, and the lack of Rift Herald that the Chiefs got is essentially a big win.
Yep, no Devourer stacks, unfortunately, there for Echo. Has gone for Runic Echoes instead.
Thank God.
Can you imagine? You will get some sick passive... Okay, never mind. Never mind.
It doubles the 3, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to get aggressed on. Corki definitely winning those trades, though. Trinity Force already completed, means Impaired. I admire your panache, sir, but it's a little too much. As Wizard going to donate him another bit of experience, I believe.
I think he cancelled it.
Oh.
Because neither of them got the experience. Impaired was 10, and he's still 10.
Well, patient. Didn't want to finish the channel, I guess. Too many minions to try and take.
Well, if you damage a minion, I think it's 10-second cooldown.
Or Radiant. Trouble. He's going to get aggressed on. Nice ult there from Egypt. He's going to lock up Jakey. But Egyptian's going to force the flash. He gets the rend. It's not enough for the execute. But you can see Trident using that Braum very effectively. Radiant's going to get forced back here. Does pop the ulti, but they're going to return with the Fates Call. Egypt in a whole host of trouble. Just
Raider's
Jakey
dead.
goes through it. Raider's dead as well. And Trident pick up an easy double in top lane.
Yeah, so this actually comes down to the effective item spike timing of the Gwynzu's Rage Blade above all else. Raider does not have his Infinity Edge and is going very aggressive with his item build towards the Infinity Edge first, opposed to something like the Essence Reaver, maybe that is a little bit more effective, cooldown reduction earlier. And just like that, Raider stops to use the Curtain Call, but that means he has nothing to keep Ejim alive. And Addition and Jake are actually stronger right now.
Yep. That's the power of Braum, certainly. And even though it is Rage Blade, Callista does make full use of the rend and the nice levels and attack speed. As Wizard just trying to clear this out on the middle tower, excuse me. Does get it done, but again, the pressure mounting here from the Corki. Game is very close, but it feels like the next few minutes going to start to really open up. For which team, though? That's going to be our question, Rusty.
Well, I like that you mentioned pressure mounting pastry time, because that is a lot of pressure in this middle lane. That's actually close to 40 CS maybe difference between the two. And that is pretty much solely from laning. That was the early ganks out of Spooks and then repeated pressure that comes out of Cheese, which you expect, and it is no surprise that he's giving that out once more in this middle lane. He's currently got the BF sword on top of the Trinity Force, so he's actually quite strong and has the package. So with the Dragon available in 2 seconds, it's up to Trident as to whether they want to fight this, because you have to know that the Chiefs will.
Ooh, you can see everyone's in position by the looks of things. Teleports are up for the top laners. So good to go. There's Impaired scouts around the area.
Here we go.
Oh, he's going to get onto Spooks. Good stun going to land in there as well, but the rest of the Chiefs are here. Impaired now could be in trouble. So Dijon's going to get dove on by the Corki. Cheese, massive damage as Spooks knocks him back with the ulti. Jin able to move in for the Executors. Jakey now has to hop back to Impaired. Wizard around the side did TP, but he's deep in enemy territory right now as the Bard ulti.
Oh, I got him.
It is going to land. Can he line up the latch? He can. Flashes for it. Flash share from Wizard as the stun as Raid is going to follow in with a W. That'll burn the Zillion ulti, and Trident just have to leave him to die, I think. Wizard going to try and get out of this one. He'll speed himself up. Curtain Call activated. He's going to get slowed. Raid is going to... Oh, my God, he missed.
It was going to take a real miracle to get out of that one alive if you were Wizard. He didn't just put himself into the backline. He was actually covert ops behind enemy Lions, trying to run like full on.
Not done, though. Spook's in trouble. Impaired looking for the steal, but taking too much damage from the Dragon.
He actually could die. He
does have the ulti, but he's not going to move out fast enough. Does ulti out, needs to use the E, does get it in time. Rady tries to snipe him, but Jakey's there with the shield. Dragon, though, does go to Chiefs.
Yeah, so the Chiefs, they do force the Dragon, very smartly not continuing to hit it, and instead looking to kill it.
I can't believe he missed this. This was a sitter.
Oh, this is great, the slow-mo. Oh, nah. That's actually just, like, yeah, drop the sitter. That wasn't okay.
Well, thank God he's playing League and not cricket, because that was not
He was
good.
probably the one banning as well, wasn't he?
Probably.
Missed the ultimates, missed the bans. When will it end?
Well, thankfully Red is still looking just fine here in the game so far. Infinity Edge, good. They're not ready to go. Addition, though, actually building quickly towards a Hurricane. That is the nice thing. You farm pretty well with the Ginsus, and it's quite cheap for your first 2 items if this is the build you choose to go. But seems like the pressure, I mentioned it already, Chiefs definitely got the nice end of that one. Pac-Man's going to be forced to flash there. His Rady is also up in that area. Seems like once again we are going to be trading some turrets. But people in Pac-Man's territory is not what he likes. He likes to be all alone and farming.
That was also a flash forced out of the 2 carries of the Chiefs just pressuring Pac-Man. He could have just picked a direction and walked it. But he also didn't know if anyone else was there. And so he had to make the blind assumption that there was everybody available. And then he has to flash out, which means he doesn't have it available. And the Chiefs are very notably affecting topside.
Huge damage there onto Cheese. As Rift Herald will say bye for now.
Ooh, that was close.
Lucky there for Cheese to not hit the second bomb. But they are going to force them off this top tower. Addition did take the bottom outer. So 2 for 1 right now in turrets, but soon to be 2 for 2 as Radiant does need a bit of help here on this Jin. A little tricky to take out turrets with only 4 bullets, but he's going to get it done. As EGM's going to pick up credit for that one.
Can crit it, thankfully.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Unless this is 6th. I'm still not entirely sure, honestly. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea.
That's okay.
Because in 6-4, I believe his crit does 44% of your crit to turrets.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Ooh, big TP from Pac-Man. Gonna try and cut them off with a pass! Oh my god, the magical journey leads straight into the Pillar of Filth, and Egypt's just far too low. He does get the latch down after the ulti. And now Swiper's here also. Trident, maybe a little too much. Addition gonna get jumped on there by the pop. He can't hop out. Good ulti though from Wizard. He's gonna keep the Callisto alive. And Cheese, he's chasing in the backline, doing a bit of covert ops over himself. Impaired, low there in the front, forced to flash out. Addition cleans up Cheese there on the other side, and the Cheese
He's in trouble.
just can't keep chasing. But Jin's ulti, he's gonna try and make sure they can. Radia gets one, needs another bullet. Last one left. There's the snipe out for the double onto Braum.
2 kills just there for the Chiefs, and that was aggressive from Trident. They decided to all take the magical journey. And that is rule number 1 of playing against the Bard. Never take the magical journey that he has set up for you, because it is the ultimate baiting tool.
It is magical only for one team, and that is Bard's team. And it's very painful for your team. It's Chiefs. Going to move down that mid, take the outer turret, maybe even push for a second here. Got plenty of time. And Pac-Man only there to defend it. Even the Trundle, especially with no ulti, not going to be able to really fend this off. Might even be in trouble. Stun misses though. Jin gets the snare, but I think that's a disengage option Pillar of Filth is down. Trap's going down there for Radiant. Just to try and zone Trident away. And again, Chiefs back with momentum here in the mid-game. Up now 2,500 gold. Taking turrets left, right, and center.
Absolutely. Basically, the objectives start to crumble as this is the thing you don't do. And the funny thing is, the ultimate hit the 2 targets. The latch then hit the next 2 targets that came in, one after the other. And it's amazing. The carry mentality of going through a magical journey is wait until your tanks have gone through first. But Ejim plays this fight so well. Raider actually kiting around the back lines. Realizes he's out of range, so just uses the curtain call. And it is curtains, of course, Trident. Jake dodges one. There's only so many you can dodge with Swiper and Spooks running at you.
Yep. And could not dodge the last bullet. Did get a nice big crit to the face. Jakey does fall. Rady now with 3 kills here in this game. Just setting up some traps alongside mid.
Here we go. Ooh. Oh, he was waiting for it. Get on the trap. He just wants to hit the W so bad. Raider's posturing for it.
Well, it's going to wave clear instead. Does have a static shiv up now, actually. So that'll help with the whole 4-bullet wave clear situation.
Yeah. Oh! Yeah, he wants it so bad. It's funny. The thing is, like, so the static shiv isn't a very standard item.
Yep.
For Jhin. Usually you go the rapid fire cannon, so they have extra range on the auto attack, and it's a lot harder for you to get caught out. But in a team where you need wave clear, perhaps Cheese isn't there for some reason. Perhaps Gragas
Perhaps he's down bottom.
Yeah.
Maybe getting ganked.
Then you need the static shift.
Well, Cheese is definitely in trouble now. That's 4 members of Trident. Spooks is there to help him. He's going to flash out the back of the Dragon Pit. But again, we saw a bit of this in game 1. Cheese just feels like he's standing in the wrong spot sometimes.
Cheese is honestly having a very poor series at the moment. He's laning well. That is the one thing that Cheese has always done quite effectively. He lanes, and he's very oppressive when he lanes. But outside of it, honestly, he just feels like he doesn't know what to do, where to go, how to play the mid game. And that's where Trident is starting to make their way back in. And it was weird, because I said that in jest. I said, why would Jhin go for a static shiv when you've got a Corki for wave clear? Well, apparently he does want to be bottom.
Well, he's going to go back bottom now, actually. Does have his Infinity Edge, so maybe a bit better of a recommendation to go towards the enemy and shoot them, because he's doing a lot of damage at this point. Spookso continuing a bit of counter jungling, does take the Krugs away. Wizard going to clear that ward in the Raptor Pit out with his nearby pink ward. And again, this game really feels similar to the first one. You know, Chiefs get an early lead, we get to the mid-game. It feels like things just stagnate a bit for the Chiefs. Dragon is back up, so that's a good objective for them to take. It would be their 3rd, nice and quickly. So the Chiefs can definitely look to 5 Dragons as a real win condition. Impaired's going to try something here. I don't think he's going to be in time for the steal. Why did I ever doubt him? Absolutely nails it.
God damn it, Impaired.
That was so smooth.
How's he so good?
Well, definitely been impressed with his Echo so far, both in game 1 and in this game as well. Chiefs instead is going to group and look for a push, but not a whole lot they can really force here. And again, much like game 1, Pac-Man on the split pushing top laner.
Yeah.
Just going to continually apply that pressure.
Well, I mean, Trident have well and truly set up their strategy as a team.
Oh,
They've got
yeah.
pretty much 4 of the 5 champions are the exact same as the last draft. They know exactly how they want to execute and what they want to do. The wild card has been Jhin in this AD carry role. It seems to have confused them slightly. And they've got a Poppy in the top lane with Gragas. So it's so hard for Trident to engage with the team comp that they have. They've got a lot of disengage, but they're relying on their Braum as the primary source of going in. And so it's a very weird middle point now between how do we engage, can we actually do it against what is a disengaged comp that has the double entendre of straight up engage themselves.
Yep. This is tricky. Again, we saw the mid-game get pretty bogged down, so could have a similar situation. Play to the Ruin King done there for addition.
It's Baron o'Clock,
It's
Pastry.
actually pretty strong. It's always Baron o'Clock, Rusty.
No, but the inventories. They've just... So Trident have put 2 pinks down. They've got 2 left. Chiefs have 4. They just placed 1. And you can see where the pinks are going on the minimap right now. If you were Chiefs. That is all at Baron.
Well, Chiefs have 3 wards, actually 4 wards on that same side of the map. So Trident can have to sneak in the vision here. Chiefs continuing to keep vision around the important area, which is that Baron, like you mentioned. They're ready to top lane right now, pushing things out. Seems like he's now going to be doing a bit of that wave pushing out. No double teleport this time for the Chiefs, though. Cheese busy mid gatekeeping that turret.
But Trident are happy where they are.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, this is what Trident want to do. And the thing is, there's a ward in the Baron pit. So Trident don't need to face Jake.
Spooks did not hear that, apparently. Almost gets tagged by the last end of the queue. I'm going to find the pinks, though. Egypt going to have to magical journey out of the Baron pit. And Radiant continuing to apply that pressure. Someone's going to have to swoop over there and stop it. Spook's almost about to get himself stunned. Does he? The stun wizard going to follow up, but Spook's able to get out. There's the Bard ulti onto Jakey. But Fate's Call is there. That'll pull him out of it. But no re-engage.
No, they're not going to go back in. Trident honestly just want to work around having Pac-Man in the bottom lane right now, just hitting away, trying to force out Swiper. It's a slow battle.
Oh, yeah.
Very slow battle. And you always question who wins it because it comes down to execution.
Ooh, stun though lands on the Spooks. Good choke point usage there by Impaired. The stun's almost there from the Braum passive. Does hit in. Jakey now going to flash forward and find Raider. Is now out of bullets. Gets exhausted as Pac-Man TPs his way in to start this fight off. But Swiper with the wraparound TPs in and takes out Jakey. Now going to kick some carries out as Wizard and Addition both find themselves on the wrong side of the walls. Impaired able to take out Spooks, but Raider gets the crit onto Echo to finish things off. And here's the Curtain Call going to try and get some exit kills. Pac-Man eats another bullet. Wizard's going to try and block him. Raider guesses wrong. Doesn't get the kill.
They don't get the kill, but of course, that is a 2-for-1 in favor of the Chiefs, so they're quite happy to utilize their strength, and that is actually health bars on Raiders. Ooh, Swiper was really close to...
Yeah, I think he would have been dead if Zillion stunned him. That might stymie the Chiefs push in middle lane. Instead, they go top.
Oh, fair enough, Swiper. Doesn't conform to normal Magic Journey usage.
No, runs around instead. But Cheese is
So
able to
walked.
take the turret.
He journeyed halfway, and then it just booted him out.
Really?
Yeah, just... I mean, to each their own, I guess, yeah. That was quaint.
It's kind of sad they actually banned Nivea now. Because we could have seen some really cool interactions.
The wall to block, yeah. I think the Trundle Pillar can. The traffic cone stops you.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That'd just be so
That's
sad.
why he needed the traffic cone
Yeah.
Trundle skin, to be honest.
Well,
Or a
fortunately-
Gandalf one.
Can't try with a regular Trundle. Group mid and do take out a turret. So tried a nice little counter push there. Going to keep the gold up. A little bit in more reasonable territory. But the Chiefs have really opened up this map. You can tell the pings onto the outer tier 2 into that bottom lane. I mean, Chiefs know where they want to go next. Baron is always a threat. Dragon will be back in a minute 30 as well. Plenty of places for Chiefs to go. But again, the pace of the game just doesn't feel like Chiefs League of Legends that we're used to. Almost 30 minutes in, and again, game's just really slowed down again.
This does not feel like the one thing that the Chiefs have shown that was a weakness. They came in as super weak, reasonably confident. They went 0-2. And it's generally because they struggle when it comes to mid-game. And like when they lost to Direwolves, they're playing against a team that is great in mid-game. And so Direwolves capitalize. And this is, again, the Chiefs learning, getting better with macro movements, but still taking it slow and cautiously. No aggressive decisions, and that's not the overconfident Chiefs that we're used to seeing.
No, it's not
It's
the
different.
decisive Chiefs, I think.
Yeah, it's just different.
And Trident more than happy to just play the farm game. Pac-Man's still getting bigger and bigger. We've got the threat here. The Chiefs are going to do something proactive. Start the Baron. Scrying Orb will see them. But Wizard's trapped in the bottom side. He's going to be forced to TP in. Jakey blocked off there, but she's actually the target, and Peggy to jump in on him. And he's just stunned up forever. Cheese,
All
another
the
big
bombs.
get out of a Wizard. Huge play there as Egypt's also locked up as well. Trident going to make a real piece of work of this team fight. Pac-Man gets a double, and that's 3 members of Chiefs dead.
And that is straight onto the Baron. The Chiefs make a big mistake by committing to that. Most importantly, Cheese gets caught out of position. This is a last-ditch effort to defend. Can they get the Baron? Spooks?
Spooks in the area, but Kalissa's going to secure it. Spooks not going to die by the looks of things. That's Trident's 4th kill of that exchange. And Radier, he does get away, but Trident again swing the game around.
Wow. 4 kills, the Baron buff, and basically the pace of this game now dictated by this Trident lineup. What a major upset at 30 minutes in for the Chiefs. That is not what they wanted to happen. And that is more than a gold lead now.
Yeah, these structures are going to start melting as well. Trident do have the lead. They're going to maybe continue to grow it here. Traps do trigger. Radier can't really defend there. Has to flash away from the Pillar of Filth. And Trident are going to break the middle of the base as well. Inhib's going to get absolutely massacred. As all 4 Chiefs are back. Spook's still on the respawn. But Trident already done the damage. And now run to Dragon as well. They collect everything off that.
Absolutely. That's just so ideal for Trident, to put it simply. I cannot believe how hard the Chiefs committed to that Baron. But like most importantly, and I do hope we see a replay of that because I can't believe how out of position Cheese was.
I have to credit Impaired again. Finds the catch on the out of position members. We're going to watch it again. Cheese.
Stun combos. Echo hits the first stun. So yes, Impaired plays impeccably. And then followed by the Braum ultimate, followed by the bombs of the Zillion. The triple stun combo is enough to not just take down one member, because the willing teammate comes in to try and help and actually joins in on the stun party. That's where it goes so downhill for the Chiefs.
Yeah, you can start to see again, trying to team comp, how they want to be playing. It feels like definitely suits their style. Could not execute in the first game, but that was a beautiful team fight there from Trident to give themselves the lead in this game. And all of a sudden, so much pressure down the Chiefs mid lane with their supers. Gold being back to even with that team fight in the back of their minds. Chiefs have to be thinking, have to be really worried at this point. And I think this is a sign of the times.
Man.
They're sitting in a brush, hoping someone face checks.
The support bush. It's the fight bush.
It is the fight bush.
It's Impaired.
Impaired's going to check it. Surely. I mean, Pac-Man's still bottom. Trident can't see them, so they're like, okay, we'll wait.
Nah. Spooks had a burp in anticipation, but they don't actually go in there, Trident. They're playing smart. They are working around Pac-Man before they get over-aggressive.
And now Spooks may be caught. Does belly bop over the wall. It's a pretty decent chunk of damage. Again, nice W there from Impaired. As Pac-Man's busy munching on turrets.
But this is the problem, right? Trident, once they've got the Baron buff, they've got Trundle this time around opposed to Nasus. And Trundle can straight up ignore you and hit the turret around you. And that is what we just saw. And the same thing can happen in top lane because they've already broken mid.
Yep, mid's done. And other two lanes are starting to get real pressured here. Chiefs just dropping structures here. They're going to have to try and find a fight. Impaired does get latched onto a minion. Trident can't be too aggressive. Good ulti there from Bar to start it off. Cheese going to look in for it. Jakey, though, going to put up the wall and get the ulti out. Spooks is absolutely dead as Impaired. Able to get the counter kill. And now Cheese going to get pillared. Have to Valkyrie out of the way. Pac-Man TPs from bottom lane in, but Trident are the one that get a kill.
Trident, I mean, this could be it.
Oh, Swiper going to try and make something happen. He dives in onto Addition. Good ulti there to try and keep it going, but the Zillion ulti's down. Addition going to stand and fight without any worry at all. Impaired dives into the backlines. That tower's going to be dead as Trident still have room to fight here. Pac-Man taking damage on the front side. Good snare there onto Wizard. But that's actually not quite enough. It is from Cheese. Curtain Call going to try and clean up a couple more kills. The very definition of exit frag. Jakey's going to get locked up. Raider's going to take him out. But Trident still do enough damage there, I think.
Yeah, you have to say the damage is not entirely done. It's not the last nail in a coffin by any means. But that just goes to show how far ahead Trident feel now because of that last fight. And amazingly get out with not everybody dying in what was overzealous. And say they committed a bit hard there. Trident and Chase, they get what they're looking for. And honestly, Zillion is a big deal right now. That is the thing that's scaring me the most. Raider has been zoned repeatedly. He only has 4 shots. So all 4 of them need to count before he reloads. But he's constantly running away from Zillion bombs that are zoning him out, and he can't hit the right target.
Certainly can't. And Wizards Zillion again has been quite impressive, despite how rough it was in the lane. And Cheese is still up a massive amount of CS. But it feels like Trident have cleaned up a lot of the issues from game 1. Their executions looked a lot crisper in this particular game.
I mean,
and they've punished the Chiefs when they've made mistakes.
The biggest thing's Trundle. Let's be honest. They've got an actual split push threat. Yeah, Nasus, very good at split pushing, very good at taking down objectives. But firstly, it's a Trundle into a Poppy. So sooner or later, the Trundle becomes better at splitting. Whereas last time Nasus in a Nautilus, I mean, there's no situation where Nautilus is going to actually feel threatened. He doesn't die.
Well, Pac-Man also doing a pretty good job of that. Only has 1 death this particular game, but continuing to be a nuisance in that bottom half of the map as Wizard going to wave clear that down nice and quickly. Just misses a couple melees there. So they have gotten quite healthy at this point of the game. We are late into it once again, almost 36 minutes into this. Dragon going to be coming back in a minute 40. Baron going to be on pretty much the same timer. But the Chiefs still have to play back into their base. Trident just looking for one more fight, it feels like.
Yeah, so Trident are looking for the last fight. The Chiefs can still well and truly win fights, though. That's the scary prospect if you were a Trident player, which is why they're showing respect, because this Jhin has 4 major items right now, and he's a super big deal, let's be honest. Whereas on the flip side, Wizard, having only offensive items going for that death cap is entirely killable. This comes down to how the Chiefs go about these fights, and if they can find a pick.
Well, Egypt going to clear the pin court here as Wizard continues to take out minion waves. He's going to keep the pressure on. Mid inhibitor has respawned though. It feels like trying that waiting around buffs. Don't really want to fight in these big open spaces in the lanes or the base. So they're going to just take the objectives, see if Chiefs fancy a fight there. Last time they had a fight around the Baron, Trident won handily. So I feel like Chiefs going to be a bit more careful this time.
But to be fair, the last time the Chiefs were hitting the Baron, not Trident. And that's where the difference actually comes into play here. Is Trident have complete control of the jungle. They are working around Baron, and that's where they're focusing all of their effort. 3 pink wards around the top side jungle, 1 in the pit. And it's entirely up to Trident if they want to start the Baron. But if they start the Baron, they are the ones losing resistances this time around. The Chiefs have a lot of damage and can capitalize.
A decent Baron comp, I suppose. So we'll see exactly what they want to do in about 5 seconds' time. Don't forget, though, Pac-Man still applying that pressure. TP going to be back in 5 seconds. And Swiper just not having a fun time. It looks like Addition's actually going for that Dragon Impaired, though. Maybe caught here. Going to phase dive into the blue, though. Chiefs looking to try and find something aggressive here. But blue buff going to go over to Spooks. Oh, no, 2 Impaired. I don't know how he got that.
Impaired's return on the Q actually secured that one.
Well, didn't go to Wizard, unfortunately. Once again, the poor man has been denied many a blue buff. And the Chiefs do have traction around the Baron area now. Try and have the Scuttle Shrine.
Package.
Skorky does have the package. Looking to make a play, his old cheese. But it really does just feel like the Chiefs. Oh
wow.
My god, Addition blown up. Julian ulti there. They are going to get key cooldowns though. That was well played from Cheese. Oh, Jin ulti. Going to get blocked in by Jake. Bardolt though. Going to find a support. Impair going to zone them with a W. That's going to be the end of that one. But well played by Cheese to try and pick off the AD.
Yeah, so Cheese actually does a lot of damage and comboed that with Jin essentially. The problem is the package just wasn't on target. And instead of hitting the Callista, Addition can kind of just walk it out and didn't use Flash, didn't use heal. Instead only got ulted by Wizard, which means Trident's communication feels leaps and bounds above what it was in the last game, just based off that alone.
Well, Pac-Man does not have to group with his team. He did teleport for the potential fight that was going to break out, but there were no deaths and no fight forthcoming, so Pac-Man does have to stick with his team for a little while. Swiper will have a bit of freedom with his cooldown still up. But again, Dragon did go to Addition. Callisto was able to take it very easily at this stage of the game.
Yeah.
And it's just the Baron we have to worry about. Chiefs have so much of their base exposed. They're trying to be very patient, perhaps too patient.
That's the concern. Patience doesn't always pay. It does only take one team fight, though, if you're a Trident this time around. And saying that death timers are super long now.
Yeah.
Trident can't afford to die either.
They're impressed with their team fighting, though. Cheese going to get jumped on Impaired. Goes straight in for it and just gets the poke down. Actually fancies another go. Getting fun. Egypt now, actually. He's going to get locked down by the Echo. Magical Journey's going to keep him out. Impaired. Going to keep moving forward. And Swiper is the reason they don't want to fight right now, because he's trying to take a tower, but Trident want to go in for it.
It's the teleport.
Wizard gets locked up, but Trident is going to back away. They get the cooldown they want. They do burn the Brawl multi. Chiefs can't face check these bombs, but they are now on the offensive.
And that was just the teleport that Trident absolutely were trying to force. They knew Swiper was threatening the turret in the bottom lane. They want him to group up with his team because Pac-Man doesn't have his available to him. If they would choose as a teleport on Wizard, be a little bit too aggressive though to send him to a side lane. And so Trident, it's a small victory, but it brings them back into the right area.
It does. Control over the Baron Pit, and they will start it. This is aggressive. As Pac-Man's found Spooks, trying to disengage and try and force a fight. Pac-Man is massive, and Egypt is not healed from that last fight. Double stun though, landed onto Wizard and Jakey. Swiper gonna go straight in for it as Cheese takes out the support. Nice ulti there from Gragas, does separate them, but Trident still want to fight here. Damage is huge onto the back line.
Yeah, these Zillion bombs still hurt, but the Chiefs find the pick that they need. And it's a lot of time to reset, honestly, as Callista couldn't even use the ult. That's how big the separation was from the Gragas ultimate. And I'm pretty sure Cheese even like respect flashed on the parallel convergence that Impaired put down. So
I would at this point.
Yeah, so this is a very dangerous part of the game if you're a Chiefs player. Trident, of course, playing with that patience that you mentioned. Find an opportunity to pull the trigger, and you can still tell their confidence is resonating through.
Yep. Happy to take a fight, especially in some of these jungle choke points. But we are getting even later into this one than game number one. 41.5 minutes have now elapsed. Baron is available and ready, but it's a dangerous proposition this late into a game. Pac-Man is back on the split push train though. Now he's the one with the teleport advantage. I have to give them credit. They know what their comp's supposed to do. They seem comfortable with it. They're executing much better this time around. Wizards been grouping with the team a lot more liberally.
Yeah.
Nice cheese back in the top lane.
They're still just straight up losing in farm.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Catch onto Ejim, I think. Impaired kind of getting locked down for a while. Big jungle tanks, though, not taking too much damage. So I guess we'll just, reset for now. Pac-Man, though, not going to try and kill the Poppy, but trying to keep the push going. Pac-Man is still just so obnoxious on this Trundle.
I mean, there's no point trading with him if you're a Swiper here. He's just going to sustain through with the next wave anyway.
Let's see Swiper.
Never-ending battle.
He's getting slapped. Technically, Pac-Man is winning. I don't know if anyone's actually winning, though.
I tell you that we're not winning.
I'm not, no. Trident still control over the jungle. Back at it, though.
Oh.
I did say, Swiper will eventually lose. It just might take a really long time.
Like he's got a
Like
GA
a really,
as well.
I know, like a really long time. Like until next Monday at the OPL time. They might be doing this by the time we get to the next series they play. Spook's going to get tagged again. Can't be warding alone. That's far too dangerous. Does get out, though. And Trident, again, continue to have the stranglehold on this area.
It's the beautiful thing. Instead of building like a statue in their honor, Pac-Man and Swiper, you can just put them on a pedestal and they'll just still be hitting each other.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They'll be there for generations.
Put the Jarvan ulti down, get the arena out. As Impaired looking to get aggressive. Radiant jukes around the parallel convergence, but he gets tagged by Braum. Jakey tries to make the play, but Spooks actually could be the one in trouble. Jungler caught out of position. Spooks is going to go down to Addition, but a nice lock up there on the two carries from the Bard ulti could give Chiefs the opportunity. Instead, it's just tried it now with a 5v4.
Yeah, so they've got the numbers advantage, but they aren't necessarily with the best health bars. As
Oh my god.
Ejim may have regretted that.
Radiant pops the ulti.
There's a package on Cheese.
They kind of want to make the play. Impaired eats the crit rocket. Cheese. It's a little aggressive. Spook's dead for 35 seconds. Trident have to go back and heal. So the pick was nice there from Trident, but they burnt a lot to get it. They're pretty much going to reset again.
Well, they did burn a whole lot to get that, and that's the problem here is Impaired used his ultimate?
Yeah. Maybe to get
Like
back?
just used his ultimate.
Oh!
Yeah, so he just came back to the dragon with it.
Well, trying
And
to
they
start
started
dragon. Corki was at the dragon, they'll know. Ejim, though, is able to check it. Could get chased down
It's
here.
getting
Trident's
low.
Baron damage is massive. This Baron's dead.
Yeah, it's gone.
Well played from Trident. They do secure the Baron.
That was really cute, though. So, I questioned why Impaired used his ultimate. They didn't have the health bar to straight up do the Baron. So he recalled, got his health, got his items, and then used the ult to be at the Baron pit, knowing that Spooks was not going to be there in time. So good play from Trident. They're in the driver's seat to pretty much take this game out.
Yeah, they're up again. Do have a gold lead, but pretty much irrelevant at this point in the game, given how late we've gone. Trident really do just need one team fight. But we're kind of getting to a one team fight situation for both teams here. And
Absolutely.
Jin and Corki do so much damage in the late game.
Yeah. They've got a Corki Jin. Like, they've got the double AD carry. So the later the game goes, the more you look at Chiefs and you're like, they can still win. Absolutely.
Yep.
Once the gold hits about 70k, everyone's near their full items. There is a real opportunity for Chiefs to take this one out, even if Trident have the Baron. What they need to do now, if you were Trident, and this is the unfortunate thing, is we keep talking about these teleport advantages. Well, Swiper's the only one with one now. So as much as Pac-Man wants and needs to clear out this bottom wave that has been set up by Swiper, he'll have to walk back here.
Yeah, and now Chiefs, again, even though they don't have Baron, are able to get aggressive and push forward down Trident's middle lane. They've spotted Pac-Man once again.
That's the thing.
The zoning bombs from Zillion are keeping them at bay for now, but Pac-Man already has to recall. And the Chiefs might even get a tower here if they're fast enough about it. Again, Swiper and Spooks actually locked up. Trident might look for the fight. Impaired. Kind of fancies it. They're actually on the Swiper, but they haven't burnt the ulti
Good
yet.
fight.
There's a great Braum ulti, knocks up
Wow.
3. But the Bard ulti might reset the fight. Latch is good, but Gragas ulti's going to move them out of the way as Swiper looks to disengage as well. But Pac-Man unrelenting in his chase as Wizard gets a massive bomb down onto Raider in the backline. Swiper now in the front has to move out. Magical Journey away is Impaired.
Impaired's in
Looks
trouble.
to chase down. He gets stunned up forever. He's actually going to die as he can't use the ulti because he doesn't have it, but Wizard still blowing people up. Pac-Man
Addition!
assassinates Radiant. Addition cuts away Cheese and gets him and Trident. I think they've done it. 2 kills for 1, Impaired the only death. Addition still getting chased down, but Swiper's going to get CC to death.
That was hard fought from Trident and Chiefs alike, but the end result is Trident coming out with all of the kills and only Impaired dead. They have got such an extended period of time to at least get inhibitors, but the base is well and truly broken for the Chiefs now.
Certainly is. 40 seconds left on the big carries there, Cheese and Radiant, and only a support and a jungler to defend. Trident, they're not interested in the top in here. They're going to try and end the game here. Spooks does use his ulti. Trident, they're going to try and finish this off. They need to lock down Addition, but I don't think they can. Spooks, he's going to go down. Addition able to get himself another kill, and that should end the game here. The Chiefs drop another game too to Trident this time around. As the Magic 8 Ball may well and truly be right, we are going to a game number 3.
We absolutely are. And Trident, with pretty much the exact same draft as they had in the first game, readjust their strategies and capitalize on mistakes from the Chiefs this time. And they pick up a very handily 1 game.
I'm going to give Trident even more credit than that, actually. I'm going to say they improved on their draft. I think Nasus was cute, but Trundle was better. But I have to agree 100%. The improvement in play was just so much more.
That's the interesting thing, though, is they picked Nasus because Cogmore was there. So this time, much more standard and a very standard victory.
Well, we're going to hear about more of that because the 8 Ball could be right. Let's pop ourselves back over to the analyst desk.
Thank you so much, Pastry Time. Another 1-1 here for the Chiefs. Trident hit back in emphatic fashion. And I want to kick off on the draft as well. Because to me, Trundle is such a good Pac-Man pick. The guy's a beast on it.
I just love it, right? Because of this whole pack attack meme that's going on. And we know that Jack Attack, he managed to carry Infernum to one of their very first victories here in the OPL on the Trundle. And once again, I mean, Pac-Man just doing it. It's fantastic. And he looked brilliant on the champion as well.
I mean, it made a lot of sense too. Nasus in the previous game, very reliant on farm, very reliant on staying alive in that lane. Trundle, on the other hand, he can split push nicely on his own. He can do whatever he wants on his own, and he can shred all the resistance that they had to get through the front line of the Chiefs.
Yeah, a little bit of a more, I guess, has also the pillar as well to be able to AoE slow. I just like the pick a little bit more, especially because of the resistance shred. The other thing I want to talk about is Chiefs' hesitancy in the mid game. This time around, with a Corki and a Jhin when they were 3,000 gold ahead, I actually don't know what the heck is going on with the Chiefs right now because they played really reactive League of Legends.
So it felt almost like a reverse of the previous game. In the first game against Trident, they had a very slow start, didn't know what they were going to do at first, and then caught up later. This game, they started off nicely. They got some small leads here and there. They used their comp effectively. Late game just fell apart. They went for a 5-man Baron with everybody up.
They had 3K gold at 24 minutes. They didn't have a small lead. They had they were well and truly on the way to a good lead.
And then they just decided, hey, let's do Baron while everybody's up and alive instead of picking people off like they were in the early game.
I mean, they lost the team fight and the Baron. So 4 people die, they lose Baron, and they're equal on gold. That is how far ahead they were throughout that mid game. And then in the end, it gets to another late game situation. We keep saying this is where you want to take the Chiefs. Atlas says a team fight at the end of the game, and Trident sweep the Chiefs.
And I really want you to watch Wizard here as well, because Wizard, his Zillion in both of these games has looked fantastic. So as we roll this one out, after having a little look at us, just watch these bombs. There's a double stun to start things off. Already the front line chunked out. Swipe is now at half health, and they can't really engage this one through. Radiant's trying to get the work done. The Bardock goes down, but look, Cheese. Wizard was right there. Couldn't actually do anything. This means that the ultimate is now still available for addition towards this late game, towards the end of this team fight, as Swiper just chunked out. And Wizard, he's just able to throw the bombs down. Look at these clumped up members of the Chiefs that get zoned. Parallel convergences everywhere. In addition, dancing around like a beast in the backline of this fight. I'm sorry to go a little bit play-by-play, but man, Addition was a highlight reel that game.
I mean, Chiefs' team composition on paper looks fantastic. You have Poppy, Gragas, Bard, 3 people that can reset fights and soak up a lot of damage to start off the fight. Then you have Corki and Jhin. So they deal a lot of damage in bursts here. And they reset the fight nicely. There were about 2 or 3 times where Chiefs were able to reset their fight not able to utilize Jin's 4 bullets, not able to utilize the burst that Corki can put down, always dealing a lot of damage to the front lines over and over again, not able to get to that back line and kill the main carries on the side of Trident.
And I also think that we saw a little bit of classic cheese in that team fight because we saw that he was trying to kill Wizard at the start of it and couldn't get it done. And then in the end, he just flashes forward. He's like, that's it. I'm just going to get the guy.
Yeah.
In Addition's case this time, and gets a little bit outplayed there. And that, to me, looked like a very frustrated Chiefs lineup in that last team fight.
Yeah, it was just looking like sort of this Chiefs that we have been seeing a little bit of just recently. I mean, this is a team that doesn't quite know what to do in that skirmish stage of the game. And it seems to me like their late game shot calling is fine once they get to the very, very late game where they can try and work together, as long as the game's even, of course. But in the mid game, it seems like they're not very good at sort of pairing off into groups of individuals and then getting things done or coordinating each other around the map separately. Seems like that's where they fall down.
And I completely agree. The Chiefs look really good when they're ahead. They play really well when they're ahead. In the previous game, they looked poor in the early game.
I don't even know about that.
Even though they were really playing poorly in the early game, in the first game, they were still ahead on gold. So when they played properly in the late game, it fell together. In that game, they played well ahead. As soon as the goal got equalized, everything just fell apart for the Chiefs, in my opinion.
They looked like they were playing from behind even when they were ahead. I think that's a lot to do with their problems.
Yeah, well, we'll see whether they are able to fix these problems because we do have a Game 3 coming up just around the corner. Trident versus Chiefs. Never thought I'd say it. Game 3, don't miss it. 3.5. See you then.